What's going on, family? It's your guy, Boro, the Lucky Libra. Thank you for tuning in to another episode. As you can see by the title, we picking up them signs through the 8th house series with who? Libra up in that 8th house. You figure deals me. So y'all already know the vibes, man. Y'all go ahead, like, share, subscribe, family. Let's circulate these gems so we could continue to build the community up. So I'm gonna give y'all a second. Go ahead and do that. I'm gonna give y'all a second. All right, all right. All right. That's why I fucks with y'all. That's why we like this. All right, I appreciate the love, appreciate the support and good energy, family. All right, so make sure to tap into my website if you'd like to connect with the Lucky Libra, and make sure to tap into my Patreon if you'd like to dive deeper. Let's get right into it. No further introduction. Libra in the 8th house. So this is most likely my what? This is most likely my Pisces risings. Yes. This is most likely my Pisces risings. Yeah, this is most likely my Pisces risings. Maybe slightly Aries risings and maybe Aquarius risings. But ultimately, this is Libra in the 8th house on that 8th house cusp. Okay. I pretty much have this place in myself. All right. My 8th house starts in Virgo. All right. I'm a Capricorn rising. My 8th house starts in Virgo. But I do have Venus, Libra in here with Venus in Libra in here. So I experienced the depth of this placement. So let's get right into it. Now, Libra, what is the 8th house? The 8th house, the 8th house deals with, transformation. It's a water house, deals with the subconscious, our deep feelings and emotions, our buried feelings and emotions, our traumas, our wounds, but huge influence on transformation, rebirths, regeneration, right? Is how we are influenced to transform and change, either internally, how we initiate it, or external influences we catch with transformation. All right, this house is dealing with the resources, shared values of others. Okay, this house is dealing with, we could sprinkle some energies with finances, business, taxes, and all of that in here. All right, and definitely strong influences with the occult, spirituality, esoteric like knowledge and wisdom, hidden like knowledge and wisdom. Okay, and also your desires and your sexual influences, passions that you may have and whatnot. So off rip, Libra, the relationship sign, okay, cardinal air ruled by Venus. So you need to understand, guys, once again, we know Venus, we know this is not a good place for Venus, all right? Whether it's Taurus in here, whether it's Libra in here, all right? Taurus is the specific opposite of this house. Libra is the neighbor sign. It comes out the 7th house, but it's still ruled by Venus. So when you have Venus energies touching the 8th house, or signs that have Venus influences, which would be Taurus, Libra, and Pisces, because Venus is exalted in Pisces, what happens here? We can manifest overindulgence in this house. All right, because Venus deal with what we love, what we like, what makes us feel good, sensuality, sexuality. So off rip, you need to know what house you have Venus in. You need to know what house you have Venus in, because this is going to be the house that influences a lot of transformation. You may connect and get attached to a lot of things in the house, and you will find solutions to deal with healing and positive transformation, transmutation with that house that Venus is in. It may be some things that you're going to have to learn how to, restrict and be more disciplined with in that house to heal. Now, off rip, Libra in this house, Venus ruled house, relationships relationships and the lack of love, the lack of connection, the lack of being valued or appreciated in your relationships in life is what's going to cause, potentially cause some trauma here, some wounds here, things that, develop insecurities. And this person with Libra in the 8th house is going to have to learn, they're going to have to understand how this affects them. The 8th house deals with your shadow. So when it comes to dealing with our shadow, we have to understand how things subconsciously affect us and how we take it to different departments of our life. So here, these are the things that influence transformation with that Libra in the 8th house. Things dealing with relationships, that Venus energy, not feeling appreciated. And this could be relationships of all sorts, guys. So this could be early relationships in life. This could be early friendships. This could be relationships in the home with your parents. relationships of all sorts where you feel like there's a lack of, care, being valued, or appreciation. All right. And then now this can be something that subconsciously you start to hold heavy, you start to bury, and now it starts to trickle into your other relationships in life. So what does that manifest? It can manifest some sense of overindulgence here in some type of shape or form. The eighth house is dealing with, sexual influences, your desires, and you put a relationship sign in here. So now you may have somebody that has a strong crave, a desire to connect, especially intimately, sexually, without understanding the significance of what's really going on. With this type of placement, a lot of the times, these individuals may have their innocence taken away from them at a young age. And not so much from a being sexually abused situation, this, that, and the third. If you have planets like Mars and Libra and shit here, it may manifest like that at times. So I'm sorry if you guys experience that, but really, when I mean get their innocence taken away here, you may be exposed to sexual things at a young age. You may be exposed to sexual things at a young age. You may experience or engage into intimate acts at a young age. Because look, Venus deals with that charm, beauty, elegance, right? But it deals with connectivity. It deals with relatability and has that sensual edge to it. So when you throw that in the eighth house, this is what starts to become something else that the Libra and eighth house person has to work through when it comes to their traumas and wounds. They may not realize how being exposed to such sexual energies or engaging in sexual energies at a young age, how that shit affects their relationships later in life. Now, when it comes to their relationships, a lot of the times things may feel unfulfilling because they may be basing off a lot of relationships off of physical connection, off of sexual connection, to the point they're manifesting superficial relationships. They're attracting a situation where people are enabling them. So when it comes to things they want to overindulge in, or when it comes to their pleasures, or simply their lack of control with their sexual desires, because this is going to be a very sexually charged placement. All right. They may manifest partners that enable that. All right. Or play on your temptations, play on your lust. People may manipulate you through sex or through lust or through your temptations, and vice versa. This is where your shadow starts to develop, and you have to be aware, Libra in the eighth house, because you'll start to use sex, your charm, your elegance, your quote unquote attractiveness, to manipulate others to get what you want, or to manipulate a relationship in some type of shape or form, especially to have control of a relationship in some type of shape or form. You have to be conscious of this. You have to be conscious, like I say, about the eighth house. We can inhibit and develop these characteristics and traits based off how people may have manipulated us with this shit. So we have to be conscious of that. This is where the shadow work is. This is where we get to the meat and potatoes of certain traumas and wounds here. Okay. So I need y'all to understand, you dealing with strong sexually charged energies in your life, you have to understand how that trickles into your relationships, because a lot of y'all may struggle dealing with committed relationships, or may seek alternative relationships because your sexual desires are very strong. So being with one person may not cut it. But is that a healthy thing? Is that something that you feel like you believe is natural, or developed from unhealthy practices, habits, and experiences? So this is what you need to understand. Like I said, relationships is different for everybody. All right. But you still need to understand the things you've experienced early in life that mold your relationship standards. All right, so that's what we got going on here. So through all those things that Libra and the eighth house person may experience, it may start to manifest into, like I said, overindulgence with relationships, people's intimate acts. It could develop an obsession to be liked and to be loved. It could develop an obsession to be liked and to be loved. And you can be self-sabotaging in relationships, almost to the point you're a little destructive to find the peace. Eighth house deals with once again, transformation, rebirths. So in relationships, you got to be mindful, or when you're connecting to others, you got to be mindful of the way you go about finding solutions. And sometimes it could be to poke at the negative in order to fill the position to solve the problem you created in a relationship. And it's like you don't get no points for solving something that a problem you created. Like that was you was the person that had brought this negativity here in the first place. So it's funny how that works there. But yeah, as far as their charm, their beauty, their elegance, this may have been something that developed issues because this may have been noticed, recognized at a young age. So this is what influenced them to engage in certain situations. And yeah, their innocence gets taken away. They start to mishandle that. They start to become irresponsible with the energy and attention they gain from being attractive to other people in some different type of shape or form. And attractiveness is subjective, but they're gonna have a strong sexual magnetism to them. They may naturally have a seductive nature to themselves. Real Sapio like influences here too with Libra in the 8th house. All right. So when they start to understand this about themselves, because most of the time Libra and 8th house people, they're pretty sexually experienced, okay? And you need to understand the positives and the negatives to that, because you can start connecting towards more spiritual significance, more of the spiritual significance of sexual healing, tantric sex. These are some of the things they may get into from a more evolved, mature state. With this type of placement, you're gonna have to learn how to abstain from sex for long periods of time. You're gonna have to learn how to exercise that that sense of control. You cannot let your desires transform you here. And let me not say you can't. This is life. It's shit gonna happen. Shit gonna happen. You're gonna experience what you experience. You're gonna have to learn on your own, regardless if you watch videos, study this, that, and the third. Okay. But these are some of the things you gotta understand with Libra in that 8th house. These people can start to, like I said, develop these a part of them where they're curious as to the healing, transmutation part of sex and intimacy. Things we're not taught about this esoteric like knowledge and wisdom of this. They may start to want to teach about sex once they evolve from their experience and understand things about themselves. These individuals, when it comes to them sexually, naturally with Libra here, they're going to aim to please. But like I said, there's a lot of seductive like energy here. You got Libra mixed with that 8th house type of energy. So at times, it's coming with that conquering type of intimacy. They're going to want to conquer you, dominate you, but still be pleasing at the same time, because Libra's an agreeable, cooperative energy. So when it comes into intimate connections, that's what they'll be inclined. That's how they'll be inclined to carry themselves when connecting with somebody. But doubling back to learning how to abstain here, because a lot of Libras in the 8th house, Libra in the 8th house energy may develop sexual addictions. You got to be careful with your sexual addiction. You got to be careful with porn addiction. You got to understand how these things play a part on your psyche. Okay, you got to understand how you allow your lust temptations to develop a motherfucking superficial relationships and whatnot. All right, you got to understand that. Okay, these individuals, they will attract. A lot of times, they may be attracted to somebody with Libra-like traits. Somebody that comes off a bit diplomatic, understanding, cooperative, has a sense of elegance and charm to them. They're gonna like that. They may like that a whole lot. When it comes to like finances and shared resources here, Libra in this house can manifest some fruitful business partnerships with their intimate partner. They can end up increasing their finances a whole lot through committed partnerships and marriage. All right. A lot of people with this type of alignment, you know, it may naturally just come with inheritances because you got Venus hitting the 8th house. So people with Venus influences in the 8th house, Taurus in the 8th house, once again, Taurus, Pisces, Libra, or Venus in the 8th house may manifest inheritance in all different type of shapes and forms here. All right. But when we talk about marriage, committed relationships, whether they're in the marriage, they could divorce in the marriage and come up from it. All different type of shit. You know, start dating somebody, this person throw you on their will, mad quick. All different type of shit. You know, all different type of shit here. When it comes to that and that type of, you know, gaining in that sense. You know, with Venus influence 8th house. But they're definitely, when it comes to joint assets, joint finances, collaborative efforts with business partnerships, they're going to pretty much have a fair nature here. They're going to be pretty fair. They're going to be pretty agreeable and cooperative here as well. Okay. You know, one thing about Libra in the 8th house, you have to make sure, you have to be wise about how you try to incorporate other people into what you know you should be initiating in your life as far as transformation and changing. Don't be waiting on other people, because Libra be wanting to do things with other people and they're the relationship sign, or they can overly consider the opinion and the outlook of others. You can't be waiting on other people so much to initiate the change you know you need to initiate in your life, Libra. You're going to be finding yourself behind the, I keep calling y'all Libra, excuse me, Pisces rising, Aries, Aquarius rising. You have to make sure that, because you're going to find yourself behind the 8 ball in some type of shape or form. If you're always waiting on the opinion of others or trying to get somebody else to, you know, change or transform with you, they can have this type of trait with themselves when they're dating or they're in relationships. They can be really passionate to self-develop their partner, or if they have things they're changing and transforming about themselves, they really want their partner to be a part of the, you know, the transformation. So if they're starting a new diet, boy, they gonna love and entice and persuade the fuck and motivate the fuck out their partner to join the diet with them. You know, shit like that, things like that. You know, once again, in a more evolved state, once they start to acknowledge these things that once they start to acknowledge their emotional issues as far as the lack of love or appreciation or value, being undervalued in relationships that with people they valued, like I said, you value your mom, you value your dad, you know, you value this partner you're talking to, and then you realize you're being undervalued, underappreciated in some type of shape or form. Once you start learning to not hold these energies against these people and just understand how to build boundaries and discernment with how you connect your energy, you know, that's going to help heal how you carry yourself into next relationships. But I'm telling you, Libra in the 8th house, you need to understand how to abstain and practice self-control, because you're going to go through relationships looking for a lot of things, feeling unfulfilled, because what you're looking for is not. Listen, God, I got Venus in the 8th house. I got Venus in the 8th house in Libra. So I understand part of my karmic duties and responsibilities lifetime is to understand how to control my sexual urges, this strong sexual nature, you know, being more discerning with how I connect my energy. I've went through my transformations based off of these things. You know, I've experienced a lot of, I'm the epitome of what I'm talking about right now. So I'm in my Saturn return right now. I'm 28, turning 29 later this year. So, you know, these situations, you know, especially when you get in your late 20s, you don't get the smack on the wrist like that. You'll start manifesting more serious transformation in your life if you don't have discernment with how you connect with others, whether it's you dealing with sexually transmitted diseases, you having babies here and there, you getting your energy drained. You need to be disciplined here, guys. All right? You need to be disciplined here. Okay? And when you do become more disciplined and you target you target You know how the lack of love has caused you to be overly dependent on others, overindulging into others, obsessing over being liked or loved, right? Obsessing over validation in many different cases. When you get to the root of that now and you start to grow and evolve through that, not only do you heal not only do you create the potential to have more healthier interactions in your relationships. You know, a lot of these people develop into relationship coaches. A lot of these people develop into sexual therapists, sexual teachers. You know, a lot of them will because there's so much wisdom through all that. You know, through all that the challenges you have to deal with sometimes having a Venus influence 8th house. You know, you're one of the first people to understand how overindulgence can transform your life. How you remember, Venus don't even have to be all about sex. This is the 8th house. All right, so we have sexual influences here. We're talking about Libra, which has strong sexual influences because they're the relationship sign. But Venus is dealing with all type of pleasures and whatnot. So you can overindulge. You can have shopping addictions here. You can have eating disorders here. You can have motherfucking all type of overindulgence here. You got to be careful of. So these people will develop a lot of wisdom to understand how to deal with self-control over their desires and pleasures in some type of shape or form. But specifically because it's Libra, where a lot of it is going to be relationships, sex, the approval of others, intimacy, you know, being liked or loved by others. All right. These people can seek help in others when dealing with crisis and transformation in their life. You know, so they won't be too proud not to ask for help. They're gonna dive into their intellectual bag. You know, they're gonna be pretty, because it is air, so they're gonna be pretty analytical and observational when it comes to things dealing with transformation and dealing with crisis and transformations in their life. But yes, they a lot of times they won't be too prideful to ask for help or relate what the fuck they're experiencing to their best friend, to their partner. Like, they'll relate some dark shit, they'll communicate it. And that sense of communication, a lot of times air in this house, whether it's Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, will a form of communication relatability helps you to release a whole lot here, you know. Okay. They could be really modest, but really aware dealing with others, you know. So they could keep a persona, a cooperative, charming smile in your face, you know, real positive greeting like type of energy around you, but that could be what psychs you up for them to carry some behind the scenes intentions. And also, this is something they have the ability of doing, you know, throwing that modest imagery while having some hidden agendas, or they'll attract this in their life. They'll attract people that come off real modest and charming, and that could probably charm them and have some hidden motherfucking agendas, you know. Libra women, if you're a woman with this placement, you need to motherfucking have discernment with who you let into your space. Because you will have motherfuckers try to, once again, play on your temptations, you know, charm you up, you know, flirt with you, you know, say what you like. You may already have sap your influences, so you like to hear, you like to be complimented, this, that, and the third. And then, you know, motherfuckers just come get what you want, bounce, and leave you unfulfilled. And you may have even enjoyed the experience, enjoyed the intimate connection, but it make you feel unfulfilled when they, you know, when they dip or whatnot. So as having more discernment, building a rapport, you know, males, you gotta understand karma, what goes around comes around. So you throwing that energy out there, you're charmed this and that third, and you're not being transparent and honest about your history or connecting, not even so much your history, about your intentions connecting. You manifest some transformative situations here. All right. We know Libra also deals with like balance. All right, we're gonna end it off right here. Libra deals with balance. So when you put it in the 8th house, the balance deals with the balance. The themes that we're trying to balance with Libra in the 8th house is going to be things dealing with materialism and sexual fulfillment. So you have to be conscious of, you know, how you may tip the scales too much on either side when it comes to things dealing with materialism, finances, okay, or what you do, or how far you go just to scratch an itch on your back, you know, speaking from a pleasure perspective, or, you know, sexual influences here. Okay, so yeah, that's Libra in the 8th house. That's the real right there. That's the real deal Holyfield right there. All right. You know, but like I said, there's a lot of wisdom, and you guys can have transformative influences on other people with Libra in the 8th house. So you embracing these wounds, or these all of these influences that, you know, you may have developed in adolescent stages that, you know, trickle into your relationships or whatnot. You can become a real spokesman, representative, teacher, example, a vessel to help others, you know, build more sacred relationships, fulfilling relationships, heartfelt, connected relationships, and not just mundane, surface level, lusty type relationships. All right. And once again, Libra in the 8th house, you know, it doesn't mean just because you don't have a pursuit or desire to get married or be in a long-term committed relationship, you know, doesn't mean that's a negative thing. But you need to know yourself, right? So if that's the case, you need to know what you might have experienced at a young age to develop that psyche, right? To develop that outlook, you know, and regardless of whatever type of relationship you're into, there needs to be discernment and discipline and control here. You got those things there, you're always going to put yourself in a space to be able to bring constant evolution and positive transformation into your life. And people ain't going to be able to play, you know, or play or tempt you or play on your lust, because they'll try it. They will try it. You know, universe will test. Let's get into some celebrities with this placement. Michael Jackson, David Bowie, Whitney Houston, Christina Aguilera, Ellen DeGeneres, Alicia Keys, Bruno Mars, Aaliyah, Pablo Escobar, and the notorious B.I. Jizzle. All right, guys, so that's Libra in the 8th house. Y'all's already know the vibes, man. Go ahead and like, share, subscribe. Help me build the community up, circulate these gems. All right, family? Appreciate the love, appreciate the support, appreciate the good energy. And tap into my website if you'd like to connect with the Lucky Libra. Tap into my Patreon if you'd like to dive deeper. Until next time, family, we're picking it up with Scorpio in the 8th house. So if you thought it got intense, yeah, this might be the climax. Until next time, family, peace.